Let's be real, my friends. Most people, myself included, don't need a chunky military grade watch. But if you ever want a multi-sport, dive certified, preconditioning training, accuracy is paramount kind of watch to train for your K2 Ascend or your Hyrox meet in a couple of months and are on a budget, then I'll say the Amazfit T-Rex 3 just might be your ticket. And TLDR, it could actually be better than the Garmin Fenix 8 and Ultra watches from Samsung and Apple. Oh snap!
The Amazfit T-Rex 3 retails for $280, and if you think that's a lot of money, Aaron, for a watch, well, if you compare it with the competition with the same capabilities, then come back and see me. This thing is a relative bargain. Dual band GPS, 1.5-inch AMOLED with 2000 nits brightness, which if you don't know what that means, that's the same you'll find on a Samsung S23 phone, Pixel 8 Pro, iPhone 16 for crying out loud. The display has Gorilla Glass protection, which for a watch in this category should have gotten sapphire glass. Now, battery life on this thing is 3 weeks according to the factory, but in real life I was getting 13 days if I had all settings on as it were out of the box, plus email and text notifications, sleep and active heart rate monitoring turn on, plus no activity tracking whatsoever. Now, adding a daily 1-hour GPS tracked activity back into the mix knocked that down to between 9 to 10 days, still a really strong showing. Now, if you just had dual band GPS running like in accuracy full-time mode, the watch can go nearly 40 hours before calling it quits. And that number jumps to a monster 175 hours with GPS in efficiency mode. The weight on this thing is 68 grams, including the straps, and it has 100 meters water resistance. Included in the box is a proprietary magnetic charger. There's no cable, you just plug in your USB-C on the side and you're good to go. Just remember to bring it on a trip, of course. The same thing with the tool. This thing is specific to the watch for the strap especially. You can also use it on the bezel for some reason, but for the strap, you have to make sure that this is something you take on a trip. If you snap or break the strap for whatever reason, if you're gone from home for a long period of time, you need the tool, otherwise you're SOL. Also included are link extensions for your strap, like if you want to change it to a nylon or whatever strap and it doesn't fit the default shape of the watch, then you just have installed the extension links. This watch, I'll tell you what, is a hunka chunka. You can just see it. It's so thick, it won't fit a lot of wrists and it won't look nice on a lot of, attire as well. This is made for outdoor, constantly like adventure stuff, and it fits right in that kind of category. So it's built for tough. I would say that the weight spreads itself out really nicely as well. You can thank the strap, which is really comfortable with really nice locking mechanisms, and the sliders work really well. The buttons, I wish they were more customizable all around, but they're kind of fixed for the most part. There's select, back, and up and down. You can kind of customize what they do, but not how they're oriented. Like I like up and down on the right side and things like that. This is a full touch control, by the way, so you can navigate the whole watch just by touch and everything. And if you swipe down, you have settings, and if you swipe from the bottom, you get to all the different tiles that you can customize and put in there as you need. And if you go back and swipe right, you have all your notifications, and if you swipe left, you have all your apps that you can rearrange as well from there. It's really easy to use, just like most watches nowadays. And I really like the display, guys. This thing is so punchy. I have this at 50% right now, and it also has a ambient light sensor in the back here. So certain watch faces, default watch faces, leverage that technology. So if I cover, look at that, it changes to low vis right there into red or whatever. It's really cool. And then it has when the sensor picks up on bright light again, it goes back to normal. And a lot of watch faces on the Amazfit watch here has complications. I'm not sure why they use the word complications, but basically you can tap on anywhere on the screen to get the relevant information that you need. Like in this case, it's weather, or you can check your steps and your PAI, for example. The bezel is raised a little bit to protect the Gorilla Glass. I'm not sure what this is for, maybe to attach it to a really flat lanyard or something and not have the straps if you have to have this off your wrist, maybe. I'm not sure. This watch has a mic but no speakers, so you can't take phone calls or anything like that, but you can listen to music through a paired Bluetooth device, for example. And by the way, there's no like Spotify or Deezer app to interface between the phone and this. You have to download the files onto the watch itself. It's kind of a pain, although they do offer a lot of space for it, but it is a pain. So some of you may not even ever use that feature. But the mic does come in useful for something like ZepFlow. So ZepFlow is Zep's own chat assistant. What is the weather today? It's pretty quick most of the time. Right now it's early in the morning and it's kind of slow, but you see it shows everything. It's not bad, I would say, and it shows a summary, and you can there's quite a bit of things you can do with it. I was surprised it uses, if I remember correctly, ChatGPT or OpenAI. I can't remember which. I'll put the text down below. But it leverages that tech and it's pretty quick, and it's free, so that's pretty good. Tracking activities is a cinch on this, as it should. It should be like second nature for a watch of this capability. There are two ways to do it, by the way. There's auto detect. It can do cycling and walking and hiking and things like that, which is pretty accurate, actually, pretty fast. But the more manual way is to press select and you go into your presets right here, a list, as well as you can populate more with more workouts. There's like 170 different sports and activities that you can track. Workout settings, you can set up auto pause, GPS settings, like if you want high accuracy or not, night setting mode and all that kind of such. Compared to like Garmin and Coros, like certain activities is not like granular. Like it doesn't have information for, say, rock climbing. It doesn't allow you to insert a grade or, like a fall detection or anything like that. This just tracks GPS and you basically go, and that's it. So, kind of bare bones on that. And so I would say, like in terms of activities, this is more like a cheap, adventurous watch of this kind of caliber with a lot of features, but it's not the best for, like, say, outdoor swimming or rock climbing and things like that. So something to bear in mind there. But that being said, the basic core stuff like cycling and running, this thing gets it right most of the time. Like even when you're running on a track indoors or outdoors, this thing can pick up on your lane changes pretty darn well.
The Zep app has definitely matured over the years, I'll tell you what. With nicely judged graphics, it's easy to visually scan for what you need between the home, sleep, workout, and profile tabs. Now, deep health and activity insights, basically like pro level data, are better on the Garmin Fenix in terms of presentation. But with how proactive Amazfit is with updating the software, including feature drops, these deficiencies may sooner be addressed than you think. The app is snappy as a whole. Even the App Store info updates very quickly, which is pretty darn impressive. One thing I think Zap has been conscious about is data privacy, including your activity as well as GPS data. So like during initial setup, users can choose between cloud storage, temporary cloud storage, no cloud storage, or denying GPS permissions altogether. And you can even back up your data locally to a file storage service like Google Drive, or even email it to yourself. Now, I had my doubts about the Zep App Store back when it was first announced years ago, and while it looks like app selection has improved, the Zap Store still lacks big-name developer support. Also, can we have search filters for apps and watch faces, please? In my personal opinion, two of the most important aspects of this kind of smartwatch, namely accuracy and consistency, is good enough in most use cases. And note that I said consistency because while watches like the T-Rex may not match medical or professional grade measuring devices in terms of outright precision and accuracy, the fact that captured data points have good accuracy and are consistent enough allows me to trust the watch each time I use it. You shouldn't need to worry about precision and all that because ultimately every watch and every user is going to cause variances in metrics. Anyways, when it comes to step tracking, it's about 200 to 250 steps less optimistic for like every 3,000 steps than the Coros Pace 3 that I have on hand, plus about 175 behind a calibrated pedometer. Heart rate is within 5 to 6 beats per minute slower than my dedicated heart rate monitor, and I think that sits at or just outside of the common margin of error for smartwatches. Like most dual frequency GPS watches I've tested so far from, say, Garmin and Coros, GPS lock outdoors on the T-Rex is fast, normally taking less than 10 seconds, and it tends to capture my route on the map better doing faster activities such as cycling than it does with slower activities like running or hiking. Outside of Apple and Samsung products, this display right here, guys, is right up there as one of the best in the business. It's sharp, smooth, efficient, and very legible under direct sunlight. And sure, the Watch Ultra and the Galaxy Watch Ultra have 1,000 more nits. This thing has 2,000, but that's at the expense of battery life. And oh, speaking of which, it's hard to complain about a smartwatch that you don't have to worry about plugging in every couple of days. Heck, you don't even have to bring the charger on most of your trips. None of that cock-blocking, power-saving mode BS here. 2-week battery life as a fully functional watch? Yeah, suck it, Apple. Not sure why I'm picking on Apple, but this applies to Google, Samsung, and anyone who buys into their lies. Another cool thing is if you're looking for smart ring integration and essentially 24/7 coverage, the T-Rex actually works in tandem with the Helio ring. So outside of deep fitness and training monitoring and all that, the ring tracks basics like heart rate, stress, SpO2, sleep, and steps. And if you don't like wearing a thick watch or any watch for that matter to bed, then the ring is really a no-brainer. Now, whatever data is collected individually or in tandem with each other will be automatically merged in the Zepp app. Now, it would also be nice to have the ability to filter data by individual devices. Right now, it can't. More so, besides the app, I'd like to see the watch being a hub for the ring, meaning that it would be good to see all the information tracked by the Helio displayed on the watch as well. I think Samsung is the only other brand that offers this kind of pairing, but that ecosystem is notably more expensive all around. I will say this, Amazfit designers did a rather good job with the design in a large watch Fenix 8 kind of way. Like front on, the bezel and the smallish buttons hide the bulk pretty darn well, but side on, you can tell that this thing is like large enough to have its own gravity. Yeah, why do premium multi-sport watches always have to be so humongous anyway? Can we have like silicone carbon batteries already just to slim things down for crying out loud? But as it is, this thing doesn't fit most wrists and they catch easily on jacket sleeves. So yeah, shave off 1/4 of an inch from the top of the thing and we're in business, guys. Here's the thing. All watches have their idiosyncrasies, right? And the T-Rex 3 is no exception. It could do with more detailed sports and health insights, more colorway options, a slimmer model maybe for smaller wrists, streaming music apps, and better realized pro features like better GPX mapping and breadcrumbing. Now on the flip side, the T-Rex 3 has a UI that's as good as watchOS and Wear OS, understandably without their smart capabilities, strong battery life, one of the best display experiences out there, good tracking and monitoring results, and guess what? All of that for $280? Dude! By the way, if you have any questions about the watch as well as the ring, feel free to ask in the comments below and I'll try to get the best answer I can for you. And thanks to Amazfit for sending me both of these products to share with you guys. I hope to bring you more Amazfit stuff in the future. I've lost touch with them from many years ago. They were one of the first companies I ever worked with. Like one of my first videos, Amazfit Bip, Amazfit Virgin, and check it out on Gear Up back in the... Yeah, it was really ghetto production, but you know, we all had to start somewhere, right? But I'm so grateful that Amazfit and I are working together again, and I hope we can bring you more stuff. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and remember to thumbs up and like this video, subscribe, reshare this with your friends, and remember to do something loving and kind for somebody in this world, because guess what? The world needs it more than ever, and it starts with you. I love you all very much. Peace out, and God bless.